Right, who's ready for a bit of a chatty intro? Because I'm trying to work some things out. It's going to be Monday, April 22nd, and I have the rest of my April TBR right here, and I literally have until April 27th to read them. I need to get this vlog all edited and uploaded by the time I go away on Monday, April 29th. So I have 6 books that I kind of want to get read in like 6 days. I doubt that's gonna happen though. I bloody doubt it. But hi, welcome to another Slice of Life vlog. I have so many books that I'm so excited to read. I ended up doing a video a couple of weeks ago of me reading the first chapter of around about 21 books that I am highly anticipating. And in order to like narrow the anticipated reads down, I kind of ranked those books from worst to best in terms of their first chapter to give me the books that I want to read for the next Slice of Life vlog. Again, I know that's kind of like defeating the purpose of Slice of Life vlogs. I just go into a week and read whatever I want. But I needed the help. I needed to narrow down my anticipated reads. And that's what I did. These 5 books were the ones that came top of that video. And specifically Ascension by Nicholas Binge was the #1 chapter of that video. So I'm definitely wanting to read this in this video. I do think something's got to give though. And I don't think I'll be able to read absolutely everything. But I am part of the Book Troop live show, which is going to be happening this weekend, I believe. And that's going to be for Murder Road by Simone St. James. This was not in that anticipated video. I'm actually kind of scared to read this now, the amount of feedback I've heard about it. And I'm pretty sure both Gabby and Katie, who are part of the live show, don't really like it all that much. And I've never read a Simone St. James book before in my life. And I'm like, should I start? I mean, yes, because I have to do that live show, but I do need to fit this in this week. I think the live show's on Saturday, so I might save this one for Friday. The closer I can read it to the live show, the better. Another one that I'm super excited to read, though, is Where Sleeping Girls Lie by Farida Abike Iyamide. I loved Ace of Spades so much, and so I've been highly anticipating this one. So I'm definitely going to read this book in this vlog too. Out of all of the plots, I think The List of Suspicious Things by Jenny Godfrey, this is the one that I am the most excited for in terms of like the actual plot. I'll tell you what all of these books are about when I get to reading them. This is kind of a cross between fiction and true crime because it was a real thing that happened, and the author herself, she knew the killer and her dad was close to the killer, so there is some like true elements to this fictional story. Honestly, I'm just excited, okay? I'm just excited. Which leaves Butcher and Blackbird and Ghost Girl Banana. I feel like out of these two, I could probably give up Ghost Girl Banana for now, even though like, I'm so excited to read it. I haven't really heard anyone talk about it, so you know, this one I've heard loads of people talk about. Like, lots of people have already read Butcher and Blackbird. So I'm like, do I read a book that probably everyone already knows and has talked about? Or do I read a book that isn't as popular in the hopes that I can give a really good recommendation if I end up enjoying it? Oh god, the dilemma. And if I make people vote between these two, I just know people will just vote for Butcher and Blackbird. They're just gonna vote for this one just because it's popular. You know what, I'll let the week play out, see how we get on. But these 3 books from my first chapter challenge video, I definitely think I will get read this week. And then we'll slap on the Book Troop Book Club. The Book Troop Book Club. Why is it so awful to my accent? The Book Troop Book Club. So, you know, lots to do this week. There's just been like so much going on the past couple of weeks. Some vlogs have been taking a little bit longer to film than I anticipated. So I need to calm myself. I need to calm down, chill. I've just come back from the library as well because I am doing my year-long library challenge. I've mentioned it a few times. The video will be uploaded in December, but I have only just finished my March read. And I've checked out my April read out of the library. So hopefully I will get that read at some point too. But it's okay if that kind of goes into May. So not really stressed about that. I'm not even stressed. It's just like, you know, when you know it's been a little bit hectic. And I feel kind of good about it because I feel productive. I feel like I've done lots and I have a plan for this week. So yeah, I feel good. I feel good. I feel like I've achieved things. I don't know what to read first yet though. You know, I do love a good poll. I might put a poll on Instagram, you know, just to see what people fancy me reading first.
A very exciting video project, and that is going to be reading Reese Witherspoon's book club picks for the year of 2024. I had this idea at the beginning of the year that I wanted to do a dedicated video series this year.
Good morning. I hope you had a good sleep. I had an okay sleep. If it wasn't for Toby attacking my toes during the night. So that little fucker's in jail right now. You're in jail, aren't you? Why? Why are you in jail for? What did you do? What did you do? Did you keep attacking my feet? Oh, you little shit. Oh, you little shit. Oh, are you trying to do a jailbreak? I'm kidding. I only held him for 2 minutes. There wasn't enough proof for an actual arrest. You're free. But I was listening to the H3 podcast last night. They just came back and I ended up reading about 250 pages of Where Sleeping Girls Lie, which isn't really halfway through. Like, this is a long book. I thought it was going to be deceiving, like the size of it. I thought, oh, maybe the pages are just going to be thick and the writing's going to be big. But no, it's legitimately nearly 600 pages long. 563 to be exact. And so far, I'm not sure why it's that long. I am enjoying it. We do follow Shade, and she's gone to this like really atmospheric boarding school. Like, I love the descriptions of this boarding school. It's so kind of eerie in a way, but also with a bit of a sort of Mean Girls but at boarding school kind of twist. Shade, her roommate Elizabeth, she ends up going missing, and the majority of what I've read so far has been like the initial investigation, going into town to see if there's any kind of clues or checking CCTV and stuff like that. So really not a whole lot has happened, which is honestly fine, but I'm loving the writing style. I love the way Farida writes. It's very engrossing, very easy to get lost in and be consumed by. I'm listening along to the audiobook, and the audiobook has very different words used sometimes. Like, it's not even like Americanized words or anything. It's just sometimes a word is different, but not even just that, but total sentence structures are different every now and then too. And I'm like, what? It's almost like the book got like little bits of rewrites for either the final copy, and then the audiobook narrator got maybe the draft before the final copy or something, because I can't really explain why certain sentences are structured in a different way. And if it was just like once or twice, I wouldn't really bat an eye, really. But it's happened quite a few times, so I'm wondering about those changes, like why they were made. And I'm listening to it on Audible. Like, I used a credit for it on Audible, so that's Audible UK, and this is the UK copy, so I don't know why it would be Americanized. And Farida's a British writer, right? So I don't understand like some of the changes in the audiobook, but I'm glad I'm doing both, like physical and listening along, so that I can pick up on those changes. I did mention Mean Girls, and sometimes I don't really love the whole Mean Girls thing anymore. Like, for instance, say you have a brand new person at school and you have someone showing them around, and then they tell you about all of the cliques that are at this school. Like, I find that trope just a little bit overused now. I'm a little bit bored by that. I like self-awareness, but I don't like when a character outwardly says, oh, this is a cliche, because then it doesn't absolve the book itself from being a cliche, you know what I mean? Like, just because you point it out doesn't give you a free pass from the criticisms of that being a cliche. So yeah, I don't love like the rehashing of like certain like Mean Girls, and even not just Mean Girls, like it has been done before in a lot of teen films and stuff, so I understand what we're trying to emulate, but to me personally, that's very distracting now. And I just don't like it in books anymore. I don't like it when someone's like, oh, there's the jocks, there's the cheerleaders, blah, blah, blah. I don't like all of that. However, I do like the Unholy Trinity. They're like some of the popular girls at school. They seem a little bit mysterious. Like, I am intrigued by the mystery, don't get me wrong. The mystery is so good. But yeah, there is that like line of it being like a really intriguing mystery on one side, and then the kind of cliche teen movie feeling we're trying to go for on the other side. But I'm still enjoying it. I still have so much to go though. I am on part 2, A Nightmare Scream. I love the chapter titles. I love the way that this is structured. It's just so good. So hopefully I can like finish that today. One thing I didn't do in my previous Slice of Life vlog was going through some like content and trying to plan. It's very, very hard for me to plan sometimes, because even though I do have like, say this on the right here, I like having a little like list of all the videos I've ever done, and I like doing like little analytics and stuff, like views in the first 24 hours, the total views so far, the runtime. Like, I'm a nerd. I am such a nerd for statistics, and I kind of love just seeing like what works and what doesn't work in that regard. So like that's why I do like, oh, in the first 24 hours I got this, just so I can say like, okay, these are kind of videos that people are the most interested in straight away. These are the videos that take a little bit longer to get the ball rolling, for instance. I'm talking to somebody who used to be obsessed with following American TV shows and the ratings that they would get on television. I would be obsessed with like doing all of that and following along the analytics of that. So I do that too. It just makes it fun, okay? So I need to, myself, try and sort out the mess that is me, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing, really. I really don't. Like, this is just a mess. An absolute mess. So I am going to Sherwood Forest from the 29th of April to the 3rd of May. I'm going to take my laptop, so I'm going to try and do like a read with me video. A read with me video. That'll be really chill and easy to do. I can film that like the first or second day I'm at Sherwood Forest as I'm doing my Robin Hood vlog and get it uploaded. I'll take my laptop down because I do want to try and do a movie night with my patrons for a Robin Hood film. Read with me in Sherwood Forest. That should hopefully be pretty good. And then I stayed in Sherwood Forest to read Robin Hood. I'm back, I mean, it might be May 5th, to be honest. I'm back on May 3rd Maybe May 4th, maybe. I'm doing some Patreon sprints with a friend of mine on the 4th of May, so maybe the 5th would be better. I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And then also because, you know, it costs a lot of money to do these projects and I only do one video. So I'm seeing if I can maybe get 3 videos out of this one. I don't have enough books for a Robin Hood vlog because none of the other Robin Hood books, and I've researched extensively. I've researched retellings, children's books, middle grade books, young adult books, adult books, which has like a Robin Hood element to it. And I am not interested in a single one. And it's absolutely fine if you like put recommendations down below. I'm probably not interested in it. I've probably seen it. I'm not interested. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But I'm not really interested in the whole like Robin Hood kind of story or any of the retellings. They just don't intrigue me at all. And I'm there for like 4 nights. So I thought maybe what I should do is I still want to do my Robin Hood vlog because like Sherwood Forest Robin Hood. And I might do a second video out of that. I might just do like the first 2 days for my Robin Hood vlog and that's one vlog. And then get another vlog out of that where potentially I read books in a cabin based on a reading list kind of thing. I found like 4 reading lists that have like I don't want to read books set in cabins. Like I don't want to read books that are potentially horror set in cabins. I don't really want to do that. I just want to read a book that, you know, you want to go away and stay in a cabin and just read. A little bit like, oh, you go into like a deserted island or something and you take a book with you. What book would you take? Kind of thing. Like, it doesn't have to be set on a desert island. It doesn't have to be set in a cabin. But I just want those like remote... I don't know what I want actually. But I did find some like 4 reading lists that could potentially help me pick from that list and like read for the next couple of days after that. I don't know what the video is going to be titled. But reading books in a cabin based on a reading list. That title will probably change. There's quite a few vlogs in May, I'm not gonna lie. And I don't really do the whole sit down video thing. Ash, get out from there. Ash, are you stuck? I knew you would be. Can you get out? Can you get out? Okay, I think you're getting out. Okay, don't do that again. Because that was silly. Maybe May 15 and... no, May 4... maybe May 8. I mean, it's my birthday on May 7th. So maybe May 8 for that. And then I was thinking, because I was watching Bring It On with my patrons about a week ago now, I think. And we were talking about like sports and maybe read like some sport romance. So I might try and do a sports romance reading vlog during this time. Potentially getting a video out May 11th as well. Don't know what. I might try and do a sit down video. Or a video that doesn't take as long to film. So I've got Heroes of Olympus, that's going to take a bloody while. And then I've also got Attack on Titan. And also reading books and stuff. That's too many vlogs, I think. If I've got Robin Hood vlog, cabin vlog, sports romance vlog, Heroes of Olympus vlog, Attack on Titan vlog, childhood favourites vlog. Childhood favourites would actually be a lot easier to do than say like Heroes of Olympus. So I might move Heroes of Olympus to like June. I always do this. I always move things down. I'll put it in just as a placeholder. Like, oh, maybe I could do it that time. And then I just like keep moving it down the list. It happens a lot. And who knows, maybe the sports romance reading vlog might not even happen. Okay, I've got 2 openings here. So May 18th, May 22nd. I've got like so many things that I don't know what I'm doing. Like maybe I could do the vlogs for a Saturday, which would be 18th. May 4th, 11th, 18th should be vlogs. But I'm going to have that one filmed anyway, so I might as well get that one out. I don't know. I don't know. I don't love it. Let's just get the dates in. See how this works. May 29th. Okay, usually I get around about 8 videos uploaded a month. Although sometimes I have been including my reading sprints just to make it look like I've done something that week. I might try and like fit in some reading sprints with some friends on some of the blank days. I think that could help. So Attack on Titan, it's 34 volumes. That's probably going to be more like towards the end of the month Attack on Titan vlog. So May 25th. Okay, let's still do the childhood favourites. So that's like reading books that inspired my childhood favourite movies. I've done quite a few videos in that series. Reading the books that inspired the movies that scarred me. Reading the books that inspired my favourite witchy films. Stuff like that. It wouldn't be too hard to do because, yeah, these are like children's books that I'm going to be reading in that video. So that might be okay. So I've got like 1, 2, 3 openings here, which isn't reflected at all on this. I'm going to move these over so it doesn't look as shit. So I don't have anything else for this week, this current week that I'm doing. I've just uploaded my Read a Popular Book for every year I've been on BookTube, and I'm currently filming my Slice of Life vlog. So I've got nothing for the middle of the week, and that's just gonna have to do. I mean, maybe a book haul because it is my birthday. Right, I'm putting in a May 11th there, and this could potentially be a birthday book haul. Oh, my last book haul was here, March 6th. So that's 2 months, just over 2 months since my last book haul. That's not too bad, okay. Okay, birthday book haul. I do want to try and visit a friend during this time for a vlog that's coming later in the year. This is the thing, I'm filming things that are coming out in like December. Or like 2 videos on the go, that's like a year-long project. And then I've got another one that'll be coming up, which will be a project I'm working on until October, and that one will be the Fear Street vlog. So it's like I'm trying to film things on top of all of this as well in the background. And also I've got to account for the fact that I'm reading all of this. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Okay, let's just build my TBR for the cabin getaway. So I do have my copy of Robin Hood ready to go. This one will be for the Robin Hood vlog. Robin Hood. And then for like these videos here, so there was this cabin reading list that I saw and kind of liked because, which one was it? Okay, maybe like The Old Man in the Sea, I think could be pretty good. Yeah, apparently it's a novella, so that'll be like really nice and easy to read. Humanity, nature, determination, kindness, grief, some big themes. Like it doesn't have to be, again, like set in a cabin or anything like that. Just a book you would take to the cabin with you to read. The Old Man and the Sea. Although I did hear some people say it's very boring. And then there was another one that there was definitely a book on there that's on my TBR. Yeah, Beloved. Beloved by Toni Morrison. I have that book. I'll get it. Beloved by Toni Morrison. I already own it physically, so I can use this. I will see if my library has The Old Man in the Sea, and then check that out. None of the other ones really intrigue me. I've read The Shining, I've read Mexican Gothic, I've read The Turn of the Key. I've read reviews of the other ones, and I've seen my friends give them like very middling reviews, so I'm like, But anyway, I will probably only have enough time to read maybe 2 books in that vlog. So I might as well try and get like 3 videos out of this cabin getaway, and if I want to break even on that video I might as well pump out a couple more vlogs out of it. Then we do get into, you know, like scary books to read in a cabin, which I don't really want to do because I've already done a cabin video where I've read scary books. So now I need to see if my library has The Old Man in the Sea. Oh, Ernest Hemingway. I don't think I've ever read an Ernest Hemingway book before. Absolutely nothing's coming up for me. I mean, they've got some like other Ernest Hemingway books, just not The Old Man in the Sea, so I might have to buy that one, which is fine. Or I might see if it's on the Kindle, see if it's like cheap on the Kindle and take my Kindle down. That's fine. Okay, the cabin stuff, that's all I really wanted to try and focus on today, just so that I know exactly what to do. I'm also going to try and phone ahead and see if I can book a taxi from the train station to the place I'm staying at in Sherwood Forest, make sure that's okay. But at least I've got like the first, I guess, like up to May 11th, like the sports romance vlog might change, like that might get pushed back. But I think these 4, like the first 2 weeks of May, at least they're done. At least they are done. And if all of these flop, which could happen, at least there's a book haul coming. Because they always do fine.
This ain't my first rodeo. I've been down this road before. All your pieces on the floor, and for that I love you more.
It is later in the day and I did manage to get the taxis booked for next week. The taxi I need to get there and the taxi I need to go back. So everything is pretty much sorted for next week, I think, I hope. So at least I got a lot of that planning done. I've been trying to rejig some things as well with my schedule and trying to make sure that video ideas can be done realistically and stuff like that. So it's been kind of fun doing that. I did also manage to finish Where Satan Girls Lie. I'm probably going to give this a 3-star. I don't love it as much as Ace of Spades. I do think this book had such a great plot. There are so many things and themes and messages that this book conveys that is so good and so important and so amazing. I do feel like maybe the length of the book does kill the tension a little bit. I do understand that we do want to portray a kind of realistic student life, but it's a little bit jarring when you go from, you know, characters talking about a disappearance and trying to figure things out, and then the next second they're like, oh, I can't wait for this party, you know? So there were so many times when the characters would realistically act like their teenage selves. So it's like not even too much of a criticism. It was just a lot of stuff I don't feel like we really needed to see a whole lot of. Maybe if a lot of the social stuff was like condensed, I guess, it probably would have made this a little bit more of a snappier read. I was underwhelmed by the main kind of mystery, the main sort of like thrillery kind of aspect to this, but actually the social commentary that ended up being brought about in this book was just so good. So I think most of my stars are going towards the social commentary aspects of this book and what it explores, and unfortunately the sort of like thrillery stuff that I was looking for, I guess maybe like the dark academia stuff that I was looking for in this, just kind of lacked a little bit, so it's kind of dragged the star rating down. But 3 stars is still pretty good. I still absolutely adore the writing style. I just think it could have been just like 100 pages shorter, maybe even 150 pages, but I'm not an editor. I can only speak on what I personally think, and as much as a great story it was, I was left like a little bit underwhelmed by certain aspects of it, but still really happy that I read it. Based off the first chapter alone, that like really intriguing first chapter, that does kickstart like the last third of this book, so it was really good. That part doesn't disappoint. I do think it lives up to that initial excitement for the first chapter. So overall, not really my favorite, but I would definitely check out the author's books in the future and get more of them. But Ascension, I think, might be my next read. I'm very excited for that one. It is, well, it looks shorter than the one I've just read, and that's kind of what I want right now. I want something a bit shorter, and it did come second in my Instagram poll, so I guess that's what I'll go with next. Currently trying to work, Ash. Currently trying to work, and you're making it impossible. Absolutely impossible. Hello. Hello. Last night, I genuinely just fancied reading a manga. I could have started Ascension and I didn't. But I did end up reading the entirety of Orochi Volume 2 by Kazuo Umezu. Kazuo Umezu is actually one of the mangakas who inspired Junji Ito. So if you like Junji Ito, you might end up liking Kazuo Umezu. I think Kazuo Umezu also did the Drifting Classroom, which I've had my eye on. I read the first volume of this last year, and it's essentially a series of, I guess, short manga stories, like horror stories. They always seem to have some kind of like horrifying twist. And there is a girl called Orochi, and she is like the only kind of constant, like she's like a recurring character. Sometimes she's part of the story, sometimes she isn't. Sometimes she's just observing the characters. It's a little bit weird, but I like it. I do like this story. This one wasn't like as, like, it's very dated. It started in 1969 and I think it ended in 1970. So it's really, really early manga. Like the art style isn't amazing by today's standard. I don't want to say basic, but like all of the panels are like just in squares, in rectangles, and there isn't really a whole lot of, you know, difference with the art style, and people just kind of look the same. But there is still something very unsettling about this series, and some stories really do stand out. Like one of the twists in this one, in one of the stories, I was actually like really surprised at, but I probably did prefer the first volume over this one. I mean, there are only 4 volumes. I have all of them, so I am like making my way through them. I'm trying to get myself in a place where I can read what I want and I don't have to make a video about it. Because I was like, oh, should I do a video reading all of Orochi in one video? And then I was like, you know what? No, just read it because you want to read it. So I'm really proud of myself for even doing that last night. Like, obviously I'm talking about it now in this video, but like this isn't the point of the video, you know? Like this was just me reading something to be a little bit different. I've been reading a lot and I mean a lot of novels, just non-stop novel after novel after novel, and it's nice to have a manga to break it up every now and then. So this is very good, I liked it. And I did start Ascension today. I'm on page 93, and I'm listening to the audiobook on Spotify while I'm doing some work on the computer, because I've been trying to like figure out my schedule and stuff. I'll show you in a second. I've kind of tried to do something that's like a little bit more quirky. So I kind of like the way that I've done. I'll show you in a second. But Ascension, this was the book that got #1 in that first chapter challenge video. This is about a mountain that mysteriously appears in the middle of the ocean, and a group of scientists go and find out what's actually in there and like why it's there. And I remember the first chapter was following a character who is a brother of one of the people who goes on this mission, and he talks about like finding him like 40 years after he initially went missing, and he finds him in this care home, and there is something like bad that happened to him. His memory isn't the best. So I'm really enjoying the format of this as well, because it is going back to, you know, 1991 when it's set. And it's first person, so it's like a diary format. And I am liking it so far. It's been very slow. I have just gotten to a part where things are really picking up now. But before this, it was mainly just the main character just being approached by a group of people being like, hey, we're going on this mission. We're not going to tell you anything about it. And he's just like, okay. So I am liking it. I don't mind the slowness of it so far. I'm going to pay more attention to this. I'm going to like read along physically as I'm listening to the audiobook later on, because I'm doing reading sprints with Jade on Patreon. So I will continue listening to the audiobook. I'll probably get around about like halfway through by the time I've like finished, because the sprint's on for like another 4 hours. So I'll most likely get to like the 50% mark, I imagine, while I do some more like work on the computer. So I feel like I made so much more progress today than yesterday. So the thing with me is I make a new document every single month just to messily put down what I need to do that month. And it's not really, I mean, it is effective in some ways, but it's very chaotic, and it would be nice to just be able to have something that is a lot more tangible, something that I can follow a lot better, and also so I can do it like way more in advance too. So like this is the kind of format that I'm doing on Excel. I made this myself. It's very basic. It is very basic, but I've got like the date over here, live show column, reading plans column, filming plans column, editing plans column, YouTube plans column, and the miscellaneous column. So the first 4 columns are mainly like the active stuff, whereas the YouTube plans is when I'm planning on posting a video, and then the miscellaneous is just like, you know, a friend staying over, you know, just like any social things. And I am going to like Sherwood Forest and things like that, so I know where I need to be, where I'm going and stuff like that. So yeah, I've been just putting in all my live shows that I have planned. I mean, there are probably going to be like more live shows as well. This is just kind of tentative, and some of these are concrete, and there might be more like to add in at some point, but yeah, that's looking a lot. I always end up doing like 4 to 5 live shows a week. It's just kind of a given at this point. Reading plans wise, haven't got everything written down in stone, but at least I kind of know what days I'm planning on reading. May 7th is my birthday, so I pretty much give myself that day off. All the stuff that I'm filming, you know, if I'm planning on filming any clips or anything like that, then it'll be put there. Editing, and then how long it'll probably take to edit. This one is more like tentative as well, because it might only take me 1 day to edit, it might take me 2, you just don't know. I got like so much blank space here because I still don't know what I want to post on these 2 days. So we'll just see if I come up with any kind of short video ideas that I can do to fit in with all of this. Hello, Ash. I need an office. You know what? I feel like, you know, I'm so tempted to rent out an office, because trying to get work done with these shits is so hard. I just need somewhere else to work, and I can't take my Mac to a cafe. I can take my laptop, but my laptop I can't edit on or anything. So I feel good that I've kind of put lots of things in stone. A lot of things like book clubs, like for my patrons, can sometimes be a little bit chaotic to try and like schedule and stuff. So it's nice to like try and get some, you know, dates kind of set so that I know when to like announce things and stuff. That helps. But yeah, it's like not the most glamorous thing, but it's practical, and I've been having fun just like filling it in, and it's made me feel a bit better as well. Like say for Attack on Titan, this kind of schedule is doable, and I feel less worried about doing it in May now. So yeah, I give myself a day off in May. That's great. And I guess this would technically count as a day off as well, because I have no reading plans, live show plans, filming plans, or editing plans that day, so that's good. And then I haven't really like figured out June too much. I've made a start, But yeah, I'm just gonna go through this a little bit more, honestly, and just see what else I can do. Hopefully, since this is today, hopefully I can get Ascension completed today. If I can get it completed tonight on Read Sprints, that's amazing. I can then do the list of suspicious things over 2 days on Thursday and Friday. Murder Road for the BookTube live show. I can read that, most likely all of it, on Saturday, although I am editing the Slice of Life. But to be fair, I'm editing the Slice of Life vlog as I go. Ash is talking to the birds again. You're so cute. I usually do edit as I go, but I just haven't filled that in because that would just be a little bit mad. I'm sure I'll only be like a few clips that I'll need to edit by Saturday. Get the vlog up on Sunday. I'll read Murder Road on Saturday. I do have a Patreon movie night on Saturday as well because the BookTube live show's on Sunday. Usually I have movie nights on a Sunday, but because the book club is on Sunday, movie night on Saturday. So I can always just like start Murder Road and like maybe not get it finished in Slice of Life vlog 4. I could technically end this vlog on like Saturday morning. We'll just see how we get on. I might read the list of suspicious things quicker than anticipated. You just never know these things. You just never know. I am hungry, so I'm gonna have some dinner, listen to more of my audiobook, and I guess just like chill until this live show later. So I am currently doing sprints with Jade in the living room. I just don't want to sit in the library for hours upon hours again. So we're doing it in the living room. Ash has stolen my seat. I was like lying down all nicely there, but no, Ash has the seat now. So I finished Ascension. You know what? I was so excited to read this. I really was. And unfortunately, it's more like a 2.5. I'm a little bit underwhelmed and disappointed by my read so far. The lesson I'm learning so far is don't judge a book by its first chapter. I feel like the epistolary format of this just ended up not working because the letters are mainly addressed to the main character's teenage niece. And there are just some weird things he puts in these letters, like such as him having sex and stuff like that. It's just like, why would you write that to your teenage niece? And I just find it so hard to believe sometimes when you have a horror novel or like a sci-fi novel or any kind of novel that deals with suspense and tension, that the main character is just going to stop and write down in a diary about what's happening. You know what I mean? Like, I find that so unbelievable. Don't get me wrong though, I do like diary formats every now and then because they are quick to read. It's great to feel the emotions like firsthand, but it just doesn't work a lot of the time. Like say one of Alex Michaelides' books, I think it's The Silent Patient. I don't like that book, and I again question the realism of that book for certain aspects of it. But this one would be a little bit harder to categorize. This one gave me the sort of feeling of, you know, Alien, the movie. Like, I'm not saying this is about aliens or anything like that, but what I'm talking about is like the feeling of a group of characters in this totally different setting and they're out of their depth and they don't know what's happening, and you have that kind of isolated feeling. Like, that's a kind of feeling, like the kind of vibes I get is from like Alien, but like set in a mountain kind of thing. So I did like the atmosphere of this. I did think the story was good in theory, but I just think the execution of it just really wasn't that great. It did end up boring me quite a lot. And then there were moments where I was like super intrigued, but it just wasn't enough to carry this book. And this is kind of a short book. It's only like 317 pages. So it's like not as long as like some other books I've read. But even then, it just didn't quite capture my attention all the way through. I'm so disappointed. I'm so sorry. Like, I loved the first chapter so much when I read it, and it just didn't deliver. I think if we could take out the epistolary format and have it like an actual like third person or even like a first person is fine, but it kind of lost me a little bit with the diary format by the end of it. I'm gonna have some food. I am gonna start as well The List of Suspicious Things by Jenny Godfrey. I am so excited for this. I've used a credit on Audible for this because the audiobook has like 5 narrators. One of them is, oh, what's her name again? She played Anna in Downton Abbey. Yeah, Joanne Froggatt, who was in Downton Abbey. Loved her in Downton Abbey. Mark Noble, Asif Khan, Gemma Whelan, who was in Game of Thrones. And I think Gemma Whelan also narrated the Nevermore series on audiobook, I think. And also Simon Harvey. But Gemma Whelan, that's just... Yeah, she did. She did. She narrated the Nevermore series. She's actually done quite a few audiobooks. But I like her too. I think she's a great audiobook narrator. So it's going to be awesome to have a full cast essentially, and I'm just so excited for this book. Like, oh my god, it is based off true events, but it is fiction. It's set during the time of the Yorkshire Ripper. So this is set in 1979, so it's a little bit historical. The author herself, she was a girl during that time, and her dad actually knew the Yorkshire Ripper. So if you're familiar with the case, you know everything. But also, yeah, there was elements of like current world issues at the time. So like Margaret Thatcher was in power, and as someone from the north, I do have strong feelings about Margaret Thatcher, the Prime Minister of Britain at the time. So there's going to be so many interesting things that I've never read before in a book, because I don't typically read books from like my local area. And also Jenny Godfrey, the author, she's a part-time Waterstones bookseller, and I'm like, I worked at Waterstones for 4 years before I quit to do YouTube full-time. So I just want to support the Waterstones booksellers out there who follow their dreams, essentially. I followed my dream to be a booktuber, and Jenny Godfrey did something a lot more smart than I did, has written a book and is an author, although I think she's still a part-time Waterstones bookseller, so amazing, love that. And it looks big, but the writing is kind of big, so I'm just excited. Okay, this is going to be the one that turns the favour of this vlog. I mean, I still liked Where Sleeping Girls Lie, that was still a good book, just slightly underwhelmed. Ascension, definitely underwhelmed. So I might actually end up giving Ascension 2 stars, because it's not just 0.5 behind Where Sleeping Girls Lie. So yeah, Where Sleeping Girls Lie, 3 stars. Ascension, 2 stars. I'm thinking everything. This one is hopefully gonna buck the trend, and we're gonna go up. And yeah, we follow Miv and Sharon. They are 2 girls who want to try and solve the Yorkshire Ripper case themselves. But what if the real mystery Miv needs to solve is the one that lies much closer to home? Oh, I'm excited, let's get into it. I think it's snowing. Is that, I think that's snow. What? It's April 25th. It's supposed to be not too hot, not too cold. All you need is a light jacket. And it's snowing. What? Okay, it looks like hail. We have hail, not snow. Okay, okay. I don't know if you can like see it on the roofs. Just bouncing off the roofs. It's supposed to be spring. And now the sun's out. Lovely. Absolutely lovely. That's British weather for you. I wasn't planning on doing an update for the list of suspicious things just yet, but I got to a point in this book where I kind of want to talk about it just a little bit. I'm currently on page 192. I read about 100 pages, just over 100 pages on Sprint yesterday with Jade, and I've just been reading along this morning, and it's really encapsulating just how much hysteria went on in the area during the time of the Ripper. It's doing that fantastically. There is multiple POVs, but it's mostly Miv. She is the schoolgirl whose best friend is Sharon, and she is like making the list of suspicious people, list of suspicious places, things to like check in this Ripper case. She's using like the things that the media are portraying about the Ripper to kind of inform her own decisions on who makes the list. And bear in mind, this is a time when if anybody was an outsider in this place, they would automatically be suspicious. I recently just read a bit about a Geordie. So I am from Gateshead in Newcastle, so I'm a Geordie. And I remember in the actual case, there was a man who wasn't the Ripper, but said he was, like he gave a voice recording to the police saying that, oh, I'm the Ripper, I can't believe you haven't found me yet, stuff like that. So it infuriatingly detracted from the actual Ripper who was, you know, out there killing people. And now the suspect was, you know, somebody with a Geordie accent. The current suspect on Miv's list is a Geordie. And there was something that her dad said about Geordies. So Miv asks her dad about it, and her dad is also suspicious of Jim. And he says Jim's from Newcastle, you see, so not only does he have the shame of being a Geordie, but he's also got this and all, and then he just like tells us more stuff. But like the shame of being a Geordie, I'm like, oh god. Honestly, the hysteria, the paranoia is palpable. People don't know what to believe because the media was a mess. Honestly, they butchered that case. The way that they spoke about the women of the time too, the poor victims who were killed, and some of them being prostitutes, the attitudes towards that was like so deplorable. And you see Miv, who is this like teenage girl surrounded by all of this, trying to make her own informed opinions, but there are so many you know, loud voices around her, whether it's her aunt, whether it's like other school children, whether it's like, you know, the media, things she reads in the newspapers, stuff like that. So honestly, I'm just loving how much this is like a window into the past, a window into this specific time frame, and kind of getting into the minds of the people who actually lived that experience. Also, I'm loving the audiobook. Joanne Froggatt is voicing Miv, and she's doing a fantastic job. In the other POVs, I think there's only like 5, but again, like Miv is predominantly the main POV. We might get like 5 chapters of Miv in a row, and then we might get another one of like Omar, and then back to Miv for like 5 chapters, you know, so it's like mainly Miv. But I love the fact that the audiobook has different narrators for each person, just to like keep it consistent in sort of the narrative voice. I think it's so good. But yeah, I'm loving it. It's great. It's holding my attention. I'm hoping I might actually finish it today, either before or after my Charmed Witch Along, which will put me 1 day ahead of schedule with my reading. And that's amazing. This is the thing. This is what happens when you actually write down your schedule. You write down your list of things to do. My own list of suspicious things. I need to stop being an absolute cringe. And yeah, being able to like see everything like written down has like really helped actually. Which honestly, I've seen so many things about like what actually helps your like chaotic mind and helping you stay on track and time management. I know like one of the #1 things people say is to write a list. Write everything down. I know all of this. I've ignored all of that. And sometimes I have done it, but in like a messy way. So yeah, I feel like this spreadsheet, oh my god, I've done like some little changes as well. It's been great. Has just been so helpful. And again, it's so basic. It is so basic. Anyone could make one. So the list today, finished list of suspicious things. Do my Charmed Witch Along tonight. I've been editing this vlog as I go. So I'm like doing all of that too. And then tomorrow, I might end up taking Murder Road to a cafe. I keep saying I'm going to go to a cafe. I keep saying I'm going to go to like the library and sit in the cafe there or go to my local coffee shop. And I just don't do it. So tomorrow I'm going to force myself to go to a cafe and read my next book, which is Murder Road. The live show for this, for the book troupe, is officially on Sunday. Gabby scheduled it last night, so that's great. I have plenty of time to read this beforehand. I'm still scared that I'm going to end up not liking this one, but at least I'm reading this and I'm enjoying it, so all hope is not lost. You know what, this got really sad at the end. I mean, I was sad throughout, honestly, like just the... Well, I mean, the Ripper case itself and the poor victims of the case are more like a backdrop to the story, especially to do with like Miv and her friends, her family, even her neighbours, just the town itself. Like, it felt like this town was real. And honestly, just like coming from a place where we're part of the North, there are a lot of like tight-knit communities in the North and people know people, and you can really like feel that through the characters in this. So it genuinely felt like so raw and real to me. And we're able to explore like so many themes through the lens of someone from this time period and like how it affects, you know, family relationships and friendships, how the Ripper case not only robbed women of their lives but of their safety, like how safe they felt on the streets, and the paranoia and the sheer terror that's like running through so many people's heads and stuff. Like, I could really feel that through the story. But yeah, with Miv, she is like a young girl. I think she might be 12 at the start of this, but like we see her like growing up a little bit because the case of the Ripper did last years. So there are a lot of lessons that I think Miv learns as she goes on in this story, whether it's to do with like standing up for other people, learning when to speak up, and kind of like trying to keep yourself safe in a very like unsafe place. I just felt this. I felt it. I was like, even getting towards the end, I was like, oh, this is like probably just gonna be like a 4 or a 4.5. But the thing is though, I feel like this might be one that I think about for a long time. One that I think is like so memorable to me. So many things I can like relate to as somebody who comes from a city, a town that has like these kinds of people. Even though like this is set in like the late 70s, early 80s, it's still like reminding me of like growing up in the 90s, the early 2000s. There isn't really like too much removed from all of that. I remember when I was 10 years old, there were 2 young girls, Holly Wells and Jessica Chapman, who were murdered, and before they caught who it was, I remember me and my friend wanting to try and find out who did it, because we saw a picture of those girls on the news and we were like, they're our age, like they could have been friends with us, you know what I mean? So like I totally get the feeling of wanting to do something right in this world and make a change in this world when it comes to other people's safety, when like there are scary people involved. You just like never want other people to ever feel scared of other people. And I kind of love the fact that Maeve is trying to take charge in an investigation that is obviously out of her depth. She is naive. She is very young. Obviously, she isn't going to like solve the case or anything, but it was through her that we could see way that the media represented the women, the victims, how they handled the case, how they gave evidence, how they made other people paranoid that would end up making people suspicious of other people. Like, there is just so many things that I think really worked for this novel. It might not be for everyone. It is partly historical, partly crime, partly character drama, but I loved it. I did. So I probably am going to give this 5 stars, honestly. Do I think it's one of my all-time favorites? Probably not, but I guess it could be. The audiobook of this too was fantastic. Oh my gosh. One of the best audiobooks I've ever listened to. I love Joanne Froggatt. I loved the other cast of characters who would come in and do the POV chapters. Oh, they were so good. Like, this was a great audiobook, great reading experience. The audiobook is on Spotify, but I'd already used my Spotify listening hours, so I couldn't listen to it. But I'm kind of glad I used a credit on Audible for this. I'm kind of glad to own the audiobook of this. So yeah, I loved it, okay? I'm glad. Oh, hello, Ash. Oh, I also loved as well, I'm gonna move on. I also love the fact as well that it was brought up that the media would be like, oh, she didn't deserve it. Whereas like they wouldn't say that about some of the other women who were murdered because they were prostitutes. And we have like our main characters being like, why do they make it sound like the others deserve death? You know what I mean? Like, it was like challenged and questioned, and I love that because yeah, like that was really shitty of the media to paint the innocent women who died, who did work. Ashley gonna knock over the camera. What was I saying? Ashley, you literally, his like face is right there. Ashley, a very little shit. Yeah, so like the women who died who were prostitutes, they obviously didn't deserve to die either. Like, that's just, like the mindset of people back then was just awful. The media was awful. Yeah, so I'm glad that that was challenged in this. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up because I do have something in the oven. And I have my Chom Witch Along, in just under an hour. So I'm gonna have my food, do this live show. Oh, Ashley just looks so cute. You know what? I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you exactly how he's just sandwiched himself in behind the camera there. Oh, well, look at you. You almost knocked over my camera, but that's fine. I love you. And yes, I do still have my Unhold Daria blood. I use it as a camera stand every now and then. It's what it deserves. Oh, but you are beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. He's literally wanting to push the camera off. He is like, I want this space. I need this space. Are you going to lick it? Do you not like the camera being there? Do you want me to move it? Do you want me to move the camera? Ew. Yes, one more book that I want to read in this vlog. I'm not going to get to Butcher and Blackbird. I'm not going to get to Ghost Girl Banana. But I do really want to at some point. Ash, come on. I will get to them at some point. I do want to read them so badly. It just didn't work out this month. But hopefully maybe next month or June. I might have more time in June to read them.
Something about me has changed. Something about me has changed. I'm sleeping just fine without you. Didn't know I could. Something about me feels strange. Something is just not the same. I haven't been thinking about you, even when I should. All the lies that you told, I've forgiven. All the fights and whose fault I forgot. I've done all in my power to heal them, all of my scars. I'm getting good at letting go. I'm not there yet, but I know ain't no hope in holding on when I'm happier alone. I'm getting good at letting go. Ooh.
That was the quickest cafe trip I've ever made in my life. I only got the one coffee and then I went home. I didn't realise that today the cafe that I usually go to, my local cafe, was predominantly booked by a Bay Society, I think. So they had the majority of the cafe, they had like booked it out. So there was only like a tiny section for the customers who weren't part of the Bay Society. And you know, it was like nice and quiet to begin with. I sat in a corner and it was really nice. I hadn't sat in that little cubby before. And then I started Murder Road, and then a whole ass family came in. And there were like a few children just like running around the little space, and I ended up using a credit on Audible for the audiobook of Murder Road so I could try and like drown out all the noise and continue reading, but it was louder than the audiobook, and I had the audiobook on blast in my ears. So I ended up just like having the one coffee, and then I've come home. I'm just gonna read in the house. It's probably for the best, because if I had stayed too much longer, I probably would have ended up ordering food, and I need to be way better with my money. Next week is gonna be expensive at Sherwood Forest. So I do think it's for the best that I'm home now. But I just wanted to do something, and I guess I'm going out all of next week essentially. So it's not even that I'm feeling like I'm too closed in the house. And I could just go for a walk. Like, I don't have to go out and buy things. But you know what? Try telling my brain that. Try telling my brain that if I go outside, I don't have to spend money. Because honestly, I feel like it's a trap. It is a trap. As soon as that front door opens, money just magically disappears from my bank account. My feet automatically take me to the nearest coffee shop, and I'm spending money that I don't need to spend. So I had one coffee, and I'm back home. I have started Murder Road, but I'm only 43 pages in. I love the premise of it. So we have a married couple, they're on their way to their honeymoon, but the guy, he's obviously like, oh, we don't need the map and stuff, like I know where we are. Like if we just go off that intersection, we'll be right on track. They're lost. But they end up going down this stretch of road where this woman appears at the side of the road and she is hurt. And so like they let her in, but as they're like driving, they're followed by a truck, and then the woman is like, it's him, he's coming, and then she dies. And they've taken her to a hospital, but she's dead. And that's what it says in the summary, okay? Yeah, it turns out that she isn't the first victim to die on the stretch of road. So it's like, that's not a spoiler. But now, April and Eddie, who are the married couple, they're in this small town now, and they can't really go because, like, they're pretty much murder suspects at this point. But those characters, I'm not gonna lie, are pissing me off right now. April and Eddie, it started off so well, it really did. I was loving the atmosphere of being on this, like, road, and, like, the tension and the suspense from the whole encounter with the woman, and then the truck following them. It was giving me, like, a little bit of, like, Jeepers Creepers meets the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You know, like, with the kind of hitchhiker person from Texas Chainsaw, and then the whole truck following them from Jeepers Creepers. It was a little bit of a blend of the two. So I was like, yes, yes, yes. But literally by chapter 2, I was like, no, 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 no. I just don't like these characters. They're just acting so abnormally. I'm sure there'll be reasons. I'm sure things will get explained as we go on. But I just don't really like them. I feel like there's some kind of angle with this story that I think we're going to go down, just based off of a couple of sentences and a couple of things that characters have said pretty early on. I feel like I kind of know where the story will probably go from here. So it'll be nice if I can confirm that. I might end up finishing this today. So I'll not tell you what it is that I'm suspicious of because I don't want to spoil you guys, but I will tell you if I was right or wrong. And also, yeah, the live show for this will be on Sunday on Gabby's channel. I'll have the live show link down below because I think by the time this vlog is up, it's probably already happened. So you can probably watch along and get like more in-depth thoughts in there. But I will still continue to update you guys as I'm reading this today. I've scheduled my live show for tonight to react to the new One Piece chapter with my channel members. And I've also scheduled my movie night for tomorrow because I'm doing the live show for the BookTube on Sunday. So I usually do movie nights on Sunday, but I've changed it to Saturday this week. And we're watching Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, which I haven't watched in such a long time. I think it was like my mum's favourite film. It's the one that came out in 1991 with Kevin Costner. It has that whole Everything I Do For You song in it. So it's kind of an iconic film, but I can't really remember anything that happened in it. So it'll be nice to refresh my memory with that before I go to Sherwood Forest next week. Schedule my True Crime and Wine book club for May 11th with my patrons as well. So like all that's done. Like I'm just trucking on, you know, I'm just getting stuff done, feeling productive, feeling good. I've done a whole group chat as well on Instagram with my new friends that I'm going to be making when I go to Egypt, like all the travelers who have booked on my trip. So I've just been like reading their messages and stuff in the group chat. It's gonna be so much fun. And I do have a trip to Norway that still has spots available. So if you want to go to Norway with me in 2025, I have a link down below. But yeah, I guess that's essentially it. I'm not hungry yet, so I'll probably wait to have some food. But I'll probably just like lie in the living room or something. And now I've got the goddamn audiobook for Murder Road, I might as well do my immersive reading of it, and then hopefully hopefully it ends up good.
But in a way that I didn't really want, because like I don't need all of my answers and everything, you know, spoon-fed to me at the end of a thriller. But like there were just some scenes that I wanted to see happen. You know, there were some things that I would have liked to have seen been played out, and it didn't happen. So that was a little bit annoying. And
I have a stack of books that I need to like do a book haul for that have just come today. But I'm not going to do that. I'll save them for the book haul. That will be coming after my birthday. But I do want to show you a couple of things that came. I mean, one, Evocation by S.J. Gibson was in Fairy Loot, and I hated A Dowry of Blood. Why are you sending me this? And I've heard not great things about this one from people who actually enjoyed A Dowry of Blood. I need to be better at skipping months. I don't skip months, and I should. I didn't realize this was going to be like this month's Fairy Loot, but I am following like a million different Instagram accounts that gives you like spoilers of what's coming up in boxes, and I just always forget to check. I mean, it is a really pretty book. It is gorgeous. Why am I like this? I mean, to be fair, I could probably do a video where I'm giving authors a second chance. There are so many people on BookTube who do that already, so I could always try it as well. Still, I hate writing things off without reading it, but it's S.J. freaking Gibson, you know what I mean? And then bloody secondly, Evernight finally came. Fucking Murder Road by Simone St. James. I knew this was going to be part of the book box, but I knew it wouldn't come in time for me to read it for the book club. So I had to get this copy like really cheap online. But yeah, this is the Evernight book box version of Murder Road, which honestly, it does kind of look pretty cool. I love the 90s kind of look of the cover. I really like the stenciled edges. It is nice, but I did not like this book. I didn't like it. 1.5 stars. 1.5 stars. And it's such a shame because this is the second or third Evernight book that I've read and didn't really like that much. I might have to cancel Evernight. I'm so underwhelmed by their choices. That one might have to go, especially since I found a property. So I've been looking for somewhere else to live for like 3 years. Like ever since moving in here, I've been wanting to move somewhere else because the landlord has been absolutely awful. But I finally found somewhere that I think looks really good, but it is Saturday and the letting agency is closed today and tomorrow, and then I go on a train to Sherwood Forest on Monday. But I'm going to try and see if I can, you know, show my interest in that place, hopefully try and get a viewing before my train or sort something out. You know, it just looks so good. Like, it's such a good property. I really want to move there. Like, it actually has a garden for Ash and Tobu. Like, the fence around it is quite high, so I don't think they would be able to jump out and like leave, because that's one thing I'm terrified of them doing, because I can't let them out while I'm living here. It's a really bad area. I have like a backyard that is just not really a nice place at all. The landlord never did it up. He said when I moved in, oh yeah, like the backyard will get done and stuff like that. Never happened. And I'm next to like kind of a mainish road, and I just don't feel like Ash and Tobu would be safe if I let them out here. But this place that I was looking at has a garden with big fences, so they wouldn't be able to escape, and they'd be able to actually like play outside and be in the sunshine and have fresh air. And like, I just want to do that for them. It's gonna really hurt financially doing it. If I could cancel Sherwood Forest right now, I would, and then save that money for this property. 100% I would do that, but I can't cancel it without a fee. So I'm really going to try and prioritize moving more so than anything else. Like, I need to, for Ash and Tobu, for myself, I need to get out of here. Those bastards, Nextdoor. So I found out that Nextdoor is on booking.com. It is a place that gets rented out, and every single Friday it's the same people. So I don't know if the person who has the property is just letting her friends use it every Friday, but every Friday they've got music starting at 4 p.m. quite loudly until around about 8 p.m. and then they go out, and then they come back about 1 a.m, 2 a.m. and, you know, put music on again. They're shouting, they're banging, and they've been doing that every single Friday this month. So I just need to move, like, for my own sanity. I'm going to be so skint It's gonna really hurt financially, but I need to do it. I need to do it. If that means not buying books, like if I might even try and just like go online right now and just skip all of the next boxes without even knowing what they are. I mean, it might be something that I really want. It might be something I might love. I might just skip them just to save on that money. No more book buying. Fortunately, a lot of the stuff that I have, like book haul wise, has been like pre-orders and gifts from my friends and stuff. So that's all good and stuff, but like I need to move. Anyway, let's go back to Murder Road, the final book I'm reading for this vlog. I do have my BookTube jumper on today, even though the BookTube live show isn't until tomorrow, so I'll have to wear this tomorrow as well. But look, I'll wear it twice, I don't care. And yeah, 1.5 stars. It was so boring to me. This was my first ever Simone St. James book. I hated the way it wrapped up. I did not like the resolution of the mystery. I thought it was rather lazy. Like, there was so many predictable things. You know how I mentioned that there was 2 things pretty early on that was like mentioned by a character, and I was like, oh, I kind of feel like I kind of know where this is gonna go. I was right on both accounts. And I'm sick of like lazy ways of gathering information. Like, I've read a million books like this already. Like, I've read about characters going to the library to find out articles from years ago to realize like, oh, who was murdered in that year? Like, how can I connect the dots more than people who have been working on this case for 19 years? You know what I mean? I just didn't end up liking the mystery. I wasn't a big fan of the characters. The characters were so bland, so flat. There were some interesting things, like interesting developments to do with certain character backstories. But even then I was like, okay. And anyway, there was another thing about this that I don't think was really fully wrapped up. Or maybe actually, I think it kind of was. But oh my god, that's so disappointing. Sorry, I'm just like remembering the plot in my head and I'm like, oh, like this could have been really scary. This could have been really good. You know, you have this road where people have been mysteriously dying on. Also, the fact that this was set in 1995, the only indication that this was really set in the 90s was that Princess Diana was mentioned quite a few times. And she was still alive at that point, because they were talking about her in the present tense. In like some little mentions of other pop culture things, but like not too much. I remember Gwen Stefani was on someone's shirt, but like nothing else. None of the vibes, nothing gave 90s. See, if I pick this up based on this cover, I would probably give it a lower rating, because I feel like as much as I kind of love the vibe of it, it's totally misleading. You barely get this feeling from this book itself. I'm such a mug. 2 BookBox books that I really do not want. I mean, I'll still give this a try, but like, I need somebody to manage my finances. I need to hire someone. But again, that's spending more money. No, stop. So me going to Sherwood Forest is going to be like the last. I mean, I've already booked the Nunnery, so the Nunnery will be another one. But other than that, I need to be good. I need you guys to hold me accountable. We'll do the book haul for my birthday, and then that has to be it. That has to be it. I didn't realize I would talk more about moving house. Or like want to move house. I was supposed to move at the very start of the year. I might have mentioned this in a previous vlog about like my sister wanting to get a bigger place, so then I would move into her place. She's decided not to move, so like that's why I'm not doing that, just to like follow up on that. But I'm kind of glad, because I mean, I would have moved into her house. It's a fine place, but it isn't really like me. It doesn't feel like me. But I would just be doing it for convenience, just to get out of this property. But the one that I'm looking at, oh my god, I really hope that I can work this out and get it. It doesn't say anything about pets as well on the listing. It doesn't say, you know, no pets allowed, which has been like such a hurdle trying to find places the past few months. There's always a listing with like no pets allowed, and it's usually like a nice place that I kind of want to go to. And I don't just want to move for the sake of moving either, because then I'd have to move again. I want somewhere where I can envision myself being for a while, and this is the place. This is the place. I mean, I'm scared for my bank account, but you can't put a price on happiness, can you? Okay, so these are the books that I read in this video. 3 of them were based off of the first chapter alone, and of those 3, only 1 like really lived up to my expectations. So Where Sleeping Girls Lie was a 3-star, Ascension was a 2-star, Orochi Volume 2 was a 3.5 star, The List of Suspicious Things was a 5-star, and then Murder Road was a 1.5 star. The book club discussion with Katie and Gabby tomorrow is gonna be interesting. So that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to leave this video a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave all your comments down below. Let me know what you thought of the video. Have you read anything that I read in the video? Do you have the same opinions, different opinions? Let me know everything in the comments. I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons and my One Piece channel members for supporting my channel. If you'd like to join my Patreon or my One Piece channel membership, then all the links are down in the description box. But yeah, I hope I will see you in the next video. Bye!